Boo boo boo. Boo 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 boo. Musashi on a Monday. Musashi on a Monday. Whoops, they're all fucking missing for some reason. I don't know what the point of saving stuff is if it's just gonna go missing. Number 4. Oh, helps if I space add. Cool. Add. Super professional, I know. Hello there, Tom Holyby with Ashgar Defense. Welcome to more Musashi on Monday. Stop touching this fucking desk because it's standing and now it's uneven. We're covering Dokudo number 4. Think lightly of yourself and deeply upon the world. And nothing says I think lightly of myself quite like a big goofy cowboy hat on an Asian. Yes. A cowboy talking about Musashi. That's funny. Anyways, let me make sure I've shared this across all of my socialist media's profiles and all that good stuff. Doo-doo. It doesn't tell you. That's ridiculous. Sure. I don't know what the point of social media of doing this is if it's just going to ignore the hell out of me. But whatever. Hashtag whatever. Anyways, continuing on with Dokudo number 4. Think lightly of yourself and deeply upon the world. This one's kind of important, especially in today's modern tactical industry with all the elite level trainers out there, combat veterans, and all that other good stuff who take themselves far, far too seriously. Or not seriously enough. It's up to you. I've seen enough people who both can and cannot commit to their tactical bit or whatever you want to call it. But it's important for us as the civilian defender, a person who carries a gun for not a living, but because we just don't want to get robbed, that we don't take things super seriously. Anecdotal evidence, for example, are people who get easily offended via road rage. He cut me off, as if you haven't cut people off before yourself. Or when little children mouth off to you, and some grown-ass men find it beholden to attempt to menace said small children, as if that will do anything. So, I'm touching all the wrong things. Think lightly of yourself and deeply upon the world. Most people don't think that deeply upon the world. Most people are looking for their latest sports venture, their favorite football team, baseball team, sports ball team, whatever. And then that's about it. They'll pay very basic attention to headlines, pay attention long enough to be offended, and then just move right the hell on, which is always fun when they come at you with their commentary. When did you hear that Biden did this? No. What did he do? Well, I don't know. The headline said something that made me feel bad. Oh, okay. Spend more time thinking about life. Think about the world. Think about what's wrong with the world, which will segue into what I have to talk about. And I don't have a tinfoil hat, but I'm hoping the cowboy hat keeps all my thoughts in and keeps the aliens from abducting my brain. But that's long and short of it. Think lightly of yourself and deeply upon the world. Don't get emotional. Nothing you've got going on is that serious that you have to take yourself that seriously. And more often than not, that leads to an egotistical outburst and leads into things like road rage or menacing children with guns. I think it was Minnesota, Washington, somewhere. Some guy took himself way too seriously. And when kids threw snowballs at his car, he fired his gun at said children with said gun. Taking yourself a little too seriously. So we shall move on because that's about all I've got on that. It's a pretty self-explanatory piece to it. And we're going to go right on to what I call Jackson Pollock people. For those of you who don't know, Jackson Pollock was a famous painter, and you probably know his stuff as this crap here. It's called a mess. Really, what it's called is abstract art, which is a cop out for I have no idea how to make a picture, so I'm just going to throw paint at the wall, and whatever happens to work is what we're going to stick with. He's well known in the art industry as having his artwork purchased at exuberant amounts of money by the American CIA as opposed to the Russian CIA. And the reason why is so that the United States could wave over the Russians, look at how culturally advanced we are versus your backward nation. This being the culturally relevant artwork, so to speak, that the Russians just can't reproduce or comprehend, and really they couldn't comprehend it. All of a sudden, this mess is getting bought and sold and whatever for millions of dollars, and the Russians are sitting there going, "I don't understand why the hell this is popular." So, what do I mean by Jackson Pollock people? Well, those would be specific talking head personalities that keep popping up throughout the internet that for one reason or another get popular, like really fucking popular, to the point that media declares them the enemy, and especially left-wing media. And these people are they always, the mask will always slip. So if you look at people like Tim Kennedy, right? This is a Jackson Pollock person. And the reason I say that is because American hero, look at how great he is. He does all the TV shows and he's really cool, elite tier 1 operator, who's a what's it. And gun control would solve all of our gun related problems, and only 21-year-olds should be allowed to buy rifles. That's a really weird thing to say. Why would you say that? You had no reason to say these things. Or if you look at Marcus Luttrell, another combat veteran, they made a movie about him starring Mark Wahlberg. And he also came out in favor of universal background checks and more gun control, because why the fuck wouldn't he? More recently, Black Rifle Coffee Company, which is a bro vet company. Bro, I'm a veteran. I'm great. Okay, that's fine. You should totally support gun control, and we're going to donate to the Democrats. Aren't they kind of like the exact opposite of everything you advertise for? Well, yeah, but why are you popular again? Well, because the government artificially inflates these people. You may recognize this individual here. This is my favorite Jackson Pollock person. This is Ben Shapiro. He is well known as the conservative newscaster / personality head behind the Daily Wire, which is his own company. And he got famous just saying normal fucking things. Boys are boys and girls are girls, and they can't be in between. And the reason why girls can't join the Boy Scouts is because it's in the name Boy Scouts, and all these other really simple things. Why is he fucking famous for this shit? Well, because he has the courage to say it. Does he? I mean, we all have that ability to say these things. And more importantly, look at what he doesn't say. Now, Mr. Shapiro here is caught up in quite a bit of controversy because of his over-reliance on supporting Israel, regardless of whatever atrocity is they commit. I may get kicked off of the Facebook and the YouTube aspect, but I'm live on Twitch. You could find me on Twitch. because Twitch doesn't seem to give a shit what anybody has to say about Israel or Palestine. So if I get ripped out of Facebook and YouTube, it'll be okay. um, but no, he's made quite the name for himself. Well, recently he's been in the controversy for supporting beyond reasonable measure Israel and its atrocities, and that's for lack of better words, atrocities in Israel or in Gaza. You know, it's okay to kill millions of children, hundreds of thousands of children in response to a few. And why do you care who killed JFK? It's not relevant. Who cares what the JFK files have to say? Because, well, it's kind of relevant to me. I would like to know. Good evening. I would like to know who killed JFK. I think that's kind of important. And the fact that you guys keep hiding it only leads to more conspiracy theories. And that's kind of the point of these Jackson Pollock people, is they're, how do I put this? The purpose-driven agitator. Y'all familiar with like Antifa being embedded with a bunch of feds, right? Or Patriot Front, which never committed a crime in its entire community's existence, but for some reason, every time a bunch of dudes in blue polos and khakis with sunglasses showed up at the exact same place at the exact same time, it was frontline news because they're trying to agitate. These are federal agents. 4chan, which got broken up and dissolved, turns out like 90% of their users were feds, right? So it would be reasonable to say that certain individuals like Mr. Ben Shapiro, or maybe this fella over here who I can't for the life of me understand why this fellow here, this is Andrew Tate, I can't find out why he's so popular. I do know he's a quite talented kickboxer, and he says some things that some people like, but I don't understand why people listen to him. Well, he says things that make me feel better. About what specifically? He says things about Christianity. No, he talks about Islam because he's a Muslim. He's a shit Muslim because he smokes and he drinks, and that's haram. But, you know, we'll move on besides that. He's also a smut peddler. You know, the guy who's telling us to move above the slutty women. By the way, subscribe to my sex channel so that you can continue to give me money. I'll sell you the poison and I'll sell you the cure. Okay, sounds like an Anthony Fauci kind of logic. I'll create the Kung Flu from Winnie the Pooh, and then I'll push for everyone to get the vaccine. It's a great way to make a shit ton of money, and that's what Andrew Tate figured out how to do. But I can't figure out why he's popular, or why the media knows what his fucking name is. And it seems interesting that every time these people creep up, the media suddenly tells you that this is public enemy number one. I thought it was weird that Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, doesn't want Andrew Tate in his state. I don't want him there. If he does, he'll arrest him on state charges. Why? Why do you have a problem with Andrew Tate? Is it because of all the things he's guilty of doing? I don't know. But no, it's Jackson Pollock people. These are the government plants, the government agencies. Hang on, I got to put my conspiratorial hat on. There. Now the aliens can't steal my thoughts. They can't steal my brain. But these are the people that keep rising up, and whenever they get to a certain point, the mask slips, and then they reveal themselves for what they really are: government agents or people sponsored by government agents, in order to achieve center focus on illegible or nonsense problems. You got to remember that the best way for a group of individuals to disappear, like Patriot Front, is to just fucking ignore them. They eventually just go the fuck away. Antifa is another example of a group or an organization that if you just fucking ignore them, they just disappear. Nobody fucking cares. Over here in Seattle, the University of Washington was taken over by a bunch of Antifa members, 20-ish people, versus the huge crowds they used to get with Trump's first term of like hundreds. if not thousands. It's not even remotely the same movement that took over Capitol Hill. So why? Because people stopped caring. Nobody gives a shit that the white liberal yuppie kids who got too much time, too much money are out there throwing a hissy fit again. And you kind of got to ask yourself, so then why is it people like Ben Shapiro and all these other big talking heads keep talking and bringing to the forefront all this nonsense shit? Um, there's groups that are out there pointing out that the black community is filled with crime, and to which I say, yes. And you try having the federal government fill your community with crack cocaine, and then suddenly they magically know where all the fathers are and systematically arrest every one of them. And you tell me how your society does. We seem to forget that, like in the 80s, the CIA flooded Harlem and Compton and Detroit with crack cocaine, got all the inner city families addicted to that shit. And then suddenly law enforcement, who when white people don't give a fuck, went in and started breaking down their doors with warrantless searches. Nobody cared because we were getting the drugs off the street. Come on, man. Reagan said we got to stop the weed and the grass and the devil's lettuce and the ice and the cocaine and all this other shit. Yeah, I wonder why they're having problems and still having problems. Couldn't possibly have anything to do with the government specifically targeting them to get rid of them, right? And then the government will purposely rise up certain individuals. And this you can look into the modern gangster rap that I know. Asian in a cowboy hat talking about gangster rap. The government won't know what to do with me. They don't know where to put me. They go out there and they buy into all this gangster rap, all this stuff that talks about a fast life, easy money, killing and hurting people, kind of contradictions to what their family values had been growing up. And that becomes the glorified cultural relevance for that entire community. Kind of like how the government went in and gave a shit ton of money to shit country music. Talks about, oh, don't fight for your country, don't fight for your rights, just drink and fuck by the river, fuck down by the riverside with a case of beer. Or how pop music continues to get worse and yet makes more and more money every single year, even though the music's terrible. And now they're just rehashing music that they've already made because the government is involved with it. It's all a psyop. In the words of, well, myself, it's all a psyop. All reality is based off of one's willingness to lie. That is a phrase that I've come up with, and that's what we have here. Move over a little bit, be more head on. Stop saying in the corner. But no, that's Jackson Pollock people. These are people who are mysteriously brought to stardom and focus. Because if you think about it, why is the NRA still on the lips of every newscast out there when they talk about gun control? Well, because that's the easy target. Never mind the fact that the NRA hasn't been relevant in the last, 12, 15, 20 years, but they still say NRA like it's the gun rights industry that it claims to be. When NAGR, National Association for Gun Rights, Firearms Policy Coalition, all these other groups have done a lot more since. I don't know, just some pattern recognition is what I call it. That's what I've noticed a lot of. So yeah, there you go, Jackson Pollock people. Moving right along, and I went and lost my notes because this is a professional setting, I must tell you. Son of a bitch. Well, I'm not going to spend this whole stream staring at my phone. So yeah, there it is. I will bring up a product that I think every gun owner at this point should have. And it was sitting next to me till I moved it. Hang on. Don't go nowhere. I didn't have to go far. This is, come on, lighting and camera. This is the Wheeler driver set. It's for cars and such, but if you search up gun screwdriver set, this pops up. I have to strongly recommend that you get this driver set and add it to your bag because it's got, I'm missing a few, but it's got about every head you need for maintenance on your firearm. And it's not an expensive set. It's plastic insulated, all the good stuff. It's got the hex, got the Torx, because God only knows that someone out there said that these, hang on. Woo. At one point or another, this camera will cooperate with me or not. Yes, it's a fantastic set. Is it like any of those expensive like titanium ones? No, but for what they cost, they're like $35. It's a great set and it will do pretty much everything you need. You can torque shit down to what you need it to be torqued down to. So, and I do like this little set because one thing I have grown to despise are the little fucking windage and elevation adjustments on red dot sights. We'll go this way. The light's not cooperating with me, or at least on this screen, it's not. That I detest. Is the little windage knobs, the recessed windage nods for nodules for red dot pistol sights. The only thing I don't have is something for aim point because their screwdrivers are the end caps, and I'd show you, but YouTube and Facebook use an AI algorithm to keep me from showing guns. Otherwise, I'll just get ripped the hell off stream. Again, Twitch doesn't care, which is weird to me, how little Twitch cares. But apparently, over on Twitch, you can say and do pretty much whatever you want, short of nudity and actually shooting people, because it's a self-reporting system over there. So, but Aimpoint, the T1, T2s have little spokes on their end caps for the windage and elevation. You stick that in, you twist it, and it acts like a screwdriver. Fucking despise that shit. I mean, it's not going to come undone, but I still hate it. So that's my my product of the week. I'm going to try and start doing that because I really want people to be able to save money, and I'm kind of tired of seeing people waste all their money on crap that they really don't fucking need, like that stuff over there. Yep. Body armor, you don't need it. This may be controversial. None of that you need. I know I have it on. I can't remember the last time I put any of it on, not even for an exercise or anything like that, because I don't have a use for it right now. You may want it, that's fair, but you don't need it right now. You need a class is what you need. You need a gun class, a pistol class, and then you need a medical class, and then you need a rifle class. And then after those 3 classes have been purchased, you can look at getting some body armor. And at that point, you should be level 4. Don't bother with steel plate. Just go straight with level 4. So, yeah, that's been sitting there for I don't know how long. I turned the head so that now he can stare at you while I blither into the microphone here. So, there you have it. I was a little short. I speak quickly. I will talk about the book of the week, which is for Brad Barr's here, so he knows this one. Oop. There we go. Examining the Armed Citizen by Paul G. Markel. I still strongly recommend people get this book so you can know a little bit about the history of gun control. And he's actually my great example of not a Jackson Pollock person, going back to that statement, because that man has been doing this whole talking into the microphone podcast style show for years, and he's not pulling the numbers that Ben Shapiro and Andrew Tate keep pulling. Probably because he's not funded by the federal government. He's very anti-government. Another example of a person who is not a Jackson Pollock person, Alex Jones. Yeah. And that's because he got completely fucking deplatformed. The amount of effort the government went into to get rid of him was insurmountable. And the only reason he remains relevant to this day is because of Elon Musk giving him replatforming him on Twitter or X or whatever the fuck you want to call it for the day. That's a guy who is not a Jackson Pollock person. But always beware. Going back to Jackson Pollock people, beware of people who say enough of the good things but can't stick to a standard. Also, beware of people who try to sell you gold. If any of your guys that you listen to and love listening to go, and you should buy gold, it holds its value. Don't listen to that guy super seriously, because that seems that for me, that's kind of my tell about a Jackson Pollock person. If they tell me to invest in gold of all fucking things, they're not on my side. People who are on your side tell you you should probably get chickens or drink filtered water and make the investments into yourself. Gold isn't usable. I never understood that. People buy up gold for a collapse. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that? In all seriousness, what the fuck am I supposed to do with gold? What, am I going to eat it? Well, no. You use it to trade. You're assuming people out there are going to have enough sense to trade it. What are you going to do? Well, this is 1 troy ounce of gold, sir. And that entitles me to $384 worth of merchandise. They're going to laugh at you, kill you, and then take your gold and you. Because you don't have anything worth. I'm going to tell you, get chickens. Get some barrels so you can collect rainwater. Filter out your water. Don't waste your fucking money on gold. Buy freeze-dried food supplies, the whole bucket's worth. You could get those bucket at like $25. You get bucket of beans and shit. Yeah, buy whiskey. Buy alcohol, buy tobacco. People, if there's a fucking collapse, people are going to want alcohol and they're going to want tobacco. That's once all the manufactured meth is gone. But that's what they're going to want. That's what you have that will be of value. Like if you can't have chickens, spend the chicken money on whiskey, vodka, tequila, cigarettes, cigars. I don't care. Buy tobacco. Buy the bags of it. Freeze it. That way it stays good. Those are much more worthwhile things, and they're much more easily traded. If you think about that. If you got property, buy gasoline. Get those canisters. Put some of the gasoline treatment in there. Buy it when the gas is cheap. So around the winter months, the fall months, buy gasoline when it's cheap. Put in that stabilizer. Hold on to it. When the gasoline gets expensive, you use it yourself. You know, don't buy gold. That's a stupid investment. There. The Asian told you not to buy gold. You should take it seriously. If I hear Ben Shapiro mention gold one more fucking time, what am I supposed to fucking do with it? It's even worse when you hear like Sean Ryan, who is another Jackson Pollock person, go out there and get sponsored by gold. You should buy gold because it holds its value. And what do I do with this held value? Buy a house. Stay in said house. If you're in a blue state, sell that house and go to a red state where they won't tax you to fucking death, ideally. Because that's what they passed here, is a 6% gas tax increase. And now my gas gets to go up while everyone else's gas gets to go down. So that's cool. I don't hear anyone talking about that. I don't see anyone saying Elon Musk needs to come look at that. I just remembered my note. Dan Bongino, I'm so fucking disappointed in you. It's absurd. For those of you who don't know, Dan Bongino is a former Secret Service agent who defended the Obamas and became famous because he fucking snitched, and that was it. That's all he did. He was a Secret Service agent that snitched on the Obamas and said they were bad people and did bad things and that you shouldn't trust them and all this good stuff and got real famous saying all the nice things that we like to listen to. Yeah, I don't like Democrats either. I should stop listening to. I should start listening to this Dan Bongino guy. He seems like an upstanding, moral individual. I just saw him talk about how Epstein did, in fact, kill himself. Listen, motherfucker, nobody fucking gives a shit. That's not the fucking point. Nobody cares if Epstein killed himself or didn't kill himself. In all honesty, as a Christian man, good. I'm glad he did it because that's a one-way ticket to a special place. So I don't care. He's an evil person. I don't care what he did to himself or didn't do to himself. I don't care who did it. I want the list. The list that you promised I was going to have. You have a good evening. We were promised the Epstein list. What was it? Like within 100 days of Trump being president, we were supposed to have the Epstein list. Still don't fucking have it. We got Pam Bondi saying, I don't know where it is. And then they're making fun of us for the fact that they didn't fucking release it because they took us to a Rickroll video. That was cool. You know, if ever there was a Jackson Pollock person, Donald Trump certainly has become a Jackson Pollock person. But he's doing all these things and deporting all these Mexicans. I want the fucking Epstein files. I don't have to worry about illegal invaders if I know who the child rapists are. The wood chipper Americans. Yes? So I'm still kind of tweaked about more of these Jackson Pollock people. And that's really what they're here to do, is just distract us, right? Dan Bongino, I thought, had a little bit more character, but again, he is a Jackson Pollock person, which means he was artificially supported by the federal government. And now he goes out on live TV next to that bug-eyed fool Kash Patel. Epstein did kill himself. Where are the Epstein files? Yeah, it was really unfortunate how Epstein absolutely killed himself. Where are the files? You know, I've been in this business a long time and I read the reports. Where are the fucking files? Nobody cares about your business. Nobody cares who you were. Everybody cares about the files. And that's what we want to see. Like, Trump's out there firing people left and right. Could you fire Pam Bondi and hire someone who will release the fucking... I'll release the fucking files, Trump. Hire me. There you go. I give a fuck who's on that list. Why is it still hidden? We're never going to see them fucking files, are we? The cabal of pedophiles, once again. Meanwhile, one of the biggest Pollock people out there, Kanye West. Yeah, he's not on our fucking side at all. I love how people are like, oh, he's based. No, he's not. He's a Jackson Pollock person. He's there to artificially distract you because there's no reason he should be popular other than he fucked a Kardashian. He made good music. Have you listened to his shit? What? How is that considered music? It's just not your taste. No, it's not music. I don't know what to tell you. It's him whining into a microphone. Now he's out there Sieg Heiling and talking about Nazis. I have to say it a certain way, otherwise, streams pull me off. Good evening, Turtle. We're talking about Jackson Pollock people. I'm going to have to re-talk about what Jackson Pollock is, or who Jackson Pollock is, for those who don't know. He makes this shit, or made this shit. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful art that the CIA bought for millions and millions of dollars just so that they could one-up the Russians. The subject is Jackson Pollock people, like this fella and this fella. These are people who, they're not on your side. The government just artificially inflates them so that they're on your news feed and then you listen to them. I just got done talking about how you shouldn't invest in gold. Don't do that. Invest in useful things like gasoline, food, chickens, whiskey, and tobacco. You should invest in those things, not gold like all the fucking weirdos tell you should. Buy gold. Buy. Do anything with it. Buy gasoline when it's cheap. Put stabilizer in it. Use it when everything's expensive. There you go. And we were just talking about Dan Bongino and the fact that I still don't have a fucking Epstein list. And I doubt we will because they keep putting out these Jackson Pollock people. Kanye West is the latest example of it. There's no reason why you should be paying any attention to this fucking idiot. He's dumb as fuck. He's been dumb as fuck his entire life. And if he was truly interested in being this, I'm a different person and I'm standing up for all this, he would just out everybody who just he would just go after them. Yeah, give him food and service. Exactly, Turtle. That's exactly what it is. These are Jackson Pollock people. They're people in the culture or who assume a position in our culture meant specifically to distract you. Because again, ask Ben Shapiro, why is it who killed JFK? And he'll sit there and tell you who cares, why you care. It doesn't matter. But then he'll talk your ear off about why Israel can only be one specific group of people. Okay. And why you have to have birthright citizenship in order to even fucking visit, unless they invite you. So, yeah, okay, that's what Kanye West is, going out there with his silly N-word Heil Hingler. Again, I gotta use goofy fucking language because Facebook and YouTube and Twitch will rip me off if I say the wrong shit. Too wrong this shit. I can be anti-Zion on Twitch, but I can't be on Facebook and YouTube. So, no, these are just the people that it's been driving me nuts because I keep seeing people share Andrew Tate and say, "What a great Christian man! This is a Muslim who smokes and drinks. It's not a good Muslim. It's haram." But there it is, anyways. Well, you should listen to Ben Shapiro. Why he won't say Christ is king, and what really got me going on this was actually Jordan B. Peterson having this fucking heart attack over people saying Christ is king. Yes, Christ is king. That's not a controversial statement. It's my faith. It's my religion. It's no different than when I see Muslim people wearing whatever their garbs are and Jews wearing their little weird hats. But when I saw Jordan B. Peterson having this conniption fit over people saying Christ is king and saying, well, they're just saying it to get at the Jews. No, I mean, maybe a couple people are, but that's just the statement. Christ is king. He is the King of Kings. Why are you upset about this? Is it because of your boss? Is it the guy who hired you? Is I have to ask, is it because of this guy? Is he upset about the Christ is King comments? Because I know he fired Candace Owens because of the Christ is King comments. And I know he's about to fire Matt Walsh because of the Christ is King comments. Is that why you're upset? Is that why you think that's a psychotic thing? You're gonna call an entire portion of the American population, well, the global population, that they're psychotic individuals because they take what you perceive as anti-Semitic, I perceive as anti-Zion. And if you don't know the fucking difference between those two things, I cannot help. So I would have had their pictures, but I am a amateur organization here, to be honest. No, I do not hate Jews. I do not hate Muslims. I hate Islamism. I hate Zionism. Those things I'm not a big fan of. Anywhere where, as a Christian, I would not be safe to go, I'm not a fan of it. I'm an America first kind of person, to be perfectly frank with you. I know, controversial take. I'm sure. I'm sure. So, but yeah, there's that. So, and for those who are tuning in late, the oops. Give me a minute. Musashi Number 4. Yeah, Jesus. Again, it's an amateur production here. One of these days, I'll actually be professional about these things, and that'll be cool. I'll be so thrilled. Think lightly of yourself and deeply upon the world. This is an important one because I don't think I'm that serious, and I don't think I'm that important. I just decided to start doing live streams because I have a lot of thoughts, and all my cool friends are doing live streams every week. So why the fuck shouldn't I? But no, think lightly of yourself. You know, if I had $1 for every road rage incident that ended in gunfire, I'd be a rich man. I wouldn't do live streams. And I wouldn't have to work a day in my life. The problem I have with it is they keep ending in death. And it's because people are taking themselves way too fucking seriously, but they're not thinking about anything. This is why Jackson Pollock people work, is because this is what you get your attention on. You're wrapped up in Kanye West or Taylor Swift or whoever the fuck, and you're not paying attention to anything else. And then what's worse is you think you're the pinnacle of the earth. No, you were fooled just like me, and that's how that is. I just want a farm. Like, I want to get out of Washington, go buy some land, start a farm. That's what I really want to do. Have cows and chickens, and like just be as far away from people and government as I can. I know, controversial. I know. I don't think that's why it started with a cowboy hat. Helps keep the aliens from stealing my thoughts. Because, you know. But no, number 4 of the Musashi's Dokudo is kind of a really self-explanatory one. Really is just don't think of yourself so seriously. Don't think of everything you do as serious. Relax. Find a hobby. Take a minute. Breathe. You can't be Marshall 100% of the time. You do have to have something else to do. Musashi's day, it would have been like little bonsai trees as a hobby. That would have been their big, time waster event. For me, it's painting little plastic guys that cost way too fucking much money. That's my bonsai tree over there in the corner. For other people, it might be building wooden model ships in a jar or a bottle. Having hobbies is good for you. It's good for your mental health. It's not necessarily that you turn off so much as you just calm down. I got all this stuff I got to do. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because if you're a responsible adult, you didn't save all that shit for last minute to do. You just did it, and now you should relax with something that works your brain. TV is not a thing. That's not a hobby. That's a real time waster. Read a book. That's not a time waster. Get back to it. The book of the week, in case you need a book. Oop, fuck. Still learning camera work. Examining the Armed Citizen by Paul G. Markel. That's my book of the week. My product of the week is the Wheeler driver set. It's like $35 on Amazon. For you professional gunsmiths, you probably don't use something like this. You probably use something fancier. This is just for us amateur folk who might have a flashlight that got loose and needs to be retightened, or something along those lines. Or maybe we got to fuck with windages and elevations, and we don't want to bring specific tools. Just bring the whole Wheeler set. When I teach classes, this is what's sitting in the trunk, on the trunk, for students to use to fix their stuff, is one of these. You should have one. Throw it in your bag. Forget about it. So there you go. That was all the points I had covered. I guess I needed 15 more minutes worth of material. I'll get this figured out. So, are there any questions, comments, concerns, or notes of ill will? Or goodwill, whichever one you want. I think I need glasses. Good. I'm glad you like it. You know, I'm sure there's some. Hey, John, how you doing? I'm sure there's some professional grade tools out there, but uh, I don't know. I've taken apart plenty of guns, reassembled them plenty of times with this Wheeler set, so I didn't find need to spend a lot of money on my tools, especially when I don't take care of my tools. I'm not very good on that. Especially since the Pacific Northwest, everything's wet, so everything's rusted. There's not a lot I can do about that. Although the good news is if I shoot an AK, all I have to do is like open it up and hold it up. There you go. Rains right in the barrel, deactivates all that Berdan primer, or I'm sorry, Boxer primer corrosion. So I would love to leave this state. I'm kind of tired of the rain personally. So, but yeah, that's all I had. So I guess I'm going to wrap it up here. Is 5 o'clock a good time for everybody, or should I push it off later off in the evening? We got 5:30, 5:30, 5:30, 5:15. So Corrosion X helps greatly with rust on GATs. I've never heard of Corrosion X. That'd be new to me. For the longest time, I was just using Frog Lube. I would take all my guns, unloaded, of course, and I'd set the oven and I'd put all my guns in the oven for about 110 degrees, as per the instructions on Frog Lube's website. And then I just let it all bake in, pull it out with oven mitts, and wipe off the excess. That's been how I managed corrosion in the Pacific Northwest all this time. 8:46 here, so 5-year time is good for me. Okay, good. All right. Yeah, again, this is like my 4th live stream, so I'm trying to iron it out so that it's useful for people's time. Also, I don't know what the delay is. That might be my issue. There's a delay on Facebook because Facebook, and it's the weirdest shit. I mean, when I watch like Sunny or anyone else's live streams on Twitch, and if I comment, it takes like 2 seconds. After I comment, it pops up for you. But like Facebook, YouTube, it's like, all right, we got to like censor your shit because that's what YouTube keeps doing to me. Can't say put a bayonet on it on YouTube. YouTube won't even let me say that on comment. I think I was talking to you about it, John, or it might have been someone else. I was talking to Gary, or Gary was doing a live stream. He was talking about the M&P all metal, and I was like, put a bayonet on it there. You got a gun blade. You stab and punch people with your pistol. And YouTube wouldn't let me say put a bayonet on it. Yeah, it's coated in it and no rust. I have held the guns. Just clean and reapply after and switch to ammo out. Okay. I'll have to look into that. I genuinely will have to look into that because it's not salt water we get so much as it's just constant water. I think it dumped rain and it's May 19th here. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between winter and now. So all the rumors, by the way, about Seattle being constantly and always raining are 100% accurate. We're only going to have about 3 months where we actually see some fucking sunshine. It'll be June, July, and August, and then that's it. And we'll be lucky this year if we don't have another fucking forest fire that threatens to burn everyone's houses down. That was my favorite thing back in 2018. Although that was arson on the behalf of Antifa. That never got put out in the news, did it? Yeah, and Antifa ran around this side of the Cascades and lit all the dry brush on fire, caused millions of dollars worth of damages. But every time they arrested people, they're like, "Oh, it wasn't me. I'm not part of an affiliation. I'm just single operative lone wolf actor on this." Kind of like the California wildfires, how all the homeless people kept running around setting more fires, just exacerbating the situation. Yeah, they've been doing that over here. So, you know, they even managed to set Fort Lewis on fire for a little bit there. That was cool. But the Army didn't play that game. They put that out real quick. So, but yeah, that's all I got. My wife got a new standing desk, so I've been standing this whole fucking time. I don't know if I want to continue doing live streams while standing. So, any questions, comments, concerns? If not, I'm going to go get myself some dinner because it's only 6 o'clock here. Alrighty. I got to wait that arbitrary amount of time for Facebook comments to pop up. Alrighty. Well, y'all have a good night.